You're watching Express News with me, Nancy Kohli. Let's take a look at the top stories of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi sought blessings of his mother on his birthday after having a lunch with his mother at her residence in Gandhinagar. He also spent time with her. Prime Minister Modi's visit to Gujarat on his birthday marked a visit to places that display a wonderful amalgamation of development and environmental protection. Prime Minister Modi offered salutations to Narmada River, revered as the Mother Narmada, also the nourishing life source that sustains Gujarat and the neighbouring regions. The puja marks the launch of the Namami Narmade Mahotsav that celebrates the dam's water level milestone. Prime Minister Modi reviewed the tourism infrastructure at Kevadia. A butterfly garden is also part of the eco-tourism push. Symbolically, Prime Minister Modi released butterflies to mark his visit. Prime Minister Modi said that Kevadia is a perfect example that shows the amalgamation of nature, environmental protection and development. Prime Minister Modi also addressed a public meeting highlighting the historic decisions undertaken by his government in the first 100 days of its second term. Prime Minister Modi said that by a historic decision on Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, his government has opened new ways of development for the state. Prime Minister Modi also called upon people to keep Kevadia plastic free. He said that the whole nation is joining the movement to get rid of plastic. President Ramnath Kovind has extended his greetings to Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. The President in a tweet message said, I quote, "Best wishes and greetings to Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. May you be blessed with good health, happiness and many more years of dedicated service to the nation." Unquote. Union Home Minister Amit Shah also wished Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. Addressing a program in New Delhi, Amit Shah hailed Prime Minister Modi's leadership for taking India to greater heights. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh wished Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. Rajnath Singh in a tweet said, I quote, "Greetings and warm wishes to Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi on his birthday. He has been instrumental in building and strengthening India's position in the Committee of Nations. His visionary leadership has helped India in scaling new heights of glory. I pray for his good health and long life." Unquote. The Bollywood also took to social media to wish Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. Actor Vivek Oberoi, Anupam Kher, Ayushmann Khurrana and filmmaker Karan Johar wished him a long and healthy life. Various personalities from sports fraternity wished Prime Minister Modi on his birthday. Sachin Tendulkar, Shikhar Dhawan, Harbhajan and Vijendra Singh took to Twitter to send their wishes. Union Home Minister Amit Shah addressed the 46th National Management Convention of the AIMA on the theme A New India, a Great India. While addressing the gathering, Amit Shah said that more than 50 bold decisions were taken during the last 5 years under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. Union Home Minister Amit Shah also said that the surgical strike and the air strikes have proved that the government would not compromise on the issue of country's security. Home Minister Amit Shah said that from 5th August this year till 17th September, not even a single bullet has been fired in Kashmir during this time. No life has been lost. Kashmir is open with an atmosphere of absolute peace. Home Minister Amit Shah wished the people of Telangana, Marathwada and Hyderabad, the Karnataka on Hyderabad Liberation Day. Amit Shah said that this was the momentous day when people decided to approve the rule of Nizam and merged with the Indian Union. The Supreme Court has adjourned till Monday the hearing of the petitions challenging the disqualification of the 17 rebel MLAs of the Karnataka Assembly. The resignations of these MLAs had led to the collapse of Congress Janata Dal Secular Coalition government in Karnataka, headed by Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy on 22nd July. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi, Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare Dr. Harshvardhan said that within 1 year, more than 45 lakh poor people have been treated under Ayushmann Bharat scheme. He also released the Village Health Sanitation and Nutrition Day guidelines. Union Labour Minister Santosh Gangwar said that the government will open offices of Directorate, General Factory, Advice Service and Labour Institutes and the DG Mines after abrogation of Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. Speaking at a function in New Delhi to confer the Vishwakarma Rashtriya Puraskar, Labour Minister Santosh Gangwar also said that the Ministry of Labour and Employment will open the EPFO office in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. External Affairs Minister S. J. Shankar asserted that Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is a part of India and one day we will have physical jurisdiction over it. The minister was speaking to the media on the first 100 days of his ministry in New Delhi. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said that there is a strong connection between national security, foreign policy goals, and this he termed as a key achievement. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar also said that the US President Donald Trump attending Prime Minister Modi's upcoming Houston event in the US is a great achievement of the Indo-American community. A family finally traced his son, and all thanks to Doordarshan News. On 14 September, Doordarshan News had aired a good news story of Muslim Munshi working for mentally distressed people. It was only after seeing this news that Karthik Shaw found his lost son Sahil Shaw after 19 long months. Opening ceremony of Indo-Thailand joint exercise Maitri was conducted at the joint training node Umroi today on Monday. Indian Army and the Royal Thailand Army contingents put up a brilliant march past in demonstration, and the weapons and equipment was also displayed for the contingent. Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that the government is in touch with the Aramco officials. They have also assured that there will be no supply disruption for continued supply. The government has even kept all the options open. The GST Council, headed by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and comprising representatives of all the states and the Union Territories, is scheduled to be held on the 20th of this month. The GST Council will consider demands for reducing taxes on products ranging from cars to biscuits, keeping in mind the revenue position, as any cut will have a direct impact on the earnings of the states. There have been demands pouring in from various sectors to reduce the tax rates. The market benchmark BSE Sensex plummeted 642 points. The 30-share index ended 642 points or 1.7% lower at 36,481. The broader NSE Nifty settled 185 points or 1.69% down at 10,817. The gold prices declined by 150 rupees to 38,905 rupees per 10 gram in the bullion market due to weak demand, according to HDFC Securities. Silver also fell to 90 rupees to 48,028 rupees per kilogram. The rupee fell 28 paise to 71.88 against the US dollar in early trade on Tuesday. After soaring as much as 20% to $71 per barrel on Monday, the Brent crude futures corrected slightly to trade at the $67 per barrel on Tuesday. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that all the options are open with the Ministry for closure or merger of 3 public sector undertakings, the MMTC, the STC and the PEC. He said the purpose of these companies is getting eroded and they are no more canalizing the agencies. The traders body CAIT has said there is no slowdown in the domestic automobile sector and the industry is making hue and cry only to get a package from the government. The auto industry has been attributing the sales downturn to several factors like high GST rates, farm distress, stagnant wages and liquidity constraints. Ride-hailing platform Ola has it plans to hire over 100 freshers from top engineering colleges and B schools over the next 6 to 12 months. Ola is targeting premium business schools and institutes across the country, including the IIMs and the IITs, as well as institutes like the XLRI, the ISB, NIT and BITS Pilani. The president of the Asia Development Bank plans to step down early next year, the regional lender has said. The Japanese Finance Minister Taro Oso said in a statement that Tokyo would soon nominate a high-caliber candidate as Nakao's successor. India's indigenously designed air-to-air missile Astra was successfully test-fired from the Bay of Bengal off the coast of Odisha today. The Beyond Visual Range missile was launched from Sukhoi 30 MKI as a part of user trials. Twin blast rocks Afghanistan, a suicide bomb attack at an election rally killed at least 26 people. The meeting was about to be addressed by President Ashraf Ghani in the Parwan province, north of the capital, Kabul. Turkey, Russia and Iran agreed to take further steps to ease tensions in northwest Syria's Idlib region at a trilateral meeting in Ankara despite lingering differences. The 3 leaders met to secure a lasting truce in northwest Syria, following attacks by the Syrian government forces that risk deepening regional turmoil and pushing a new wave of migrants towards Turkey. Speaking at the meeting, the Turkish President Erdogan reiterated Turkey, Russia and Iran need to take more responsibility to establish peace in Syria. He further said that he hoped the summit in Ankara to bring a fresh breath for the Astana process. In his opening remarks, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said that diplomacy, not a military approach, was the solution to end the crisis in Syria. He said that the US troops must leave the region immediately and Syrian government must take control of the east and the north of Euphrates like it took control of the other regions. Speaking at the summit, the Russian President Vladimir Putin, peace in Syria can be reached only by political and diplomatic efforts, and Russia is ready to support the Syrian army in targeted actions on terrorists in Syria. The Syrian Arab Army discovered a massive tunnel network built by rebels in the northern Hama countryside, central Syria, while they were searching through the area to eliminate safety hazards for returning civilians. US President Donald Trump vowed at a rally in New Mexico to win the longtime Democratic stronghold state in the November 2020 US elections. In the previous elections, Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton beat Trump by 8 percentage points in the 2016 elections. US President Donald Trump said that he hoped that the United Auto Workers strike against General Motors would be a quick one. The negotiators for the GM and the UAW were continuing talks to resolve a strike that shut down the automaker's highly profitable US operations. US President Donald Trump said it looked like Iran was behind the attacks on oil plants in Saudi Arabia at the weekend that raised fears of a fresh Middle East conflict, but added that he did not want war with anyone. Iran has rejected US's charges it was to blame for the attacks which damaged the world's biggest crude processing plant in Saudi Arabia. Donald Trump also said that the attacks on the 2 Saudi oil plants will not affect the US as it has got tremendous amounts of oil in the country and are now independent of everyone. Saudi-led coalition has said that the investigations indicated that the weapons used in the 2 Saudi Aramco attacks are Iranian. Saudi Arabian oil facilities were attacked on Saturday. Yemen's Houthi rebels claimed responsibility for the attacks. NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg has said he was extremely concerned about escalating tensions following strikes on Saudi oil facilities at the weekend, accusing Iran of destabilizing the region. The Secretary General said that they call on all the parties to prevent any such attacks occurring again because that can have negative consequences for the entire region. China also condemned the attack on Saudi Arabia's oil facilities, toughening its language, however restrained itself from saying who it believed was behind the attacks. Oil shared some of its massive gains as the US flagged the possible release of crude reserves, but the threat of military action over the attacks on Saudi oil facilities kept prices elevated and stocks under pressure. Saudi Arabian stock market investors remained optimistic despite Saturday's attacks on Aramco's oil facilities, with the Saudi bourse making a recovery. The weekend attack at Saudi Aramco's facility shut down about 5% of the world's supply, and while the company has not given a timeline for the resumption of full output. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that he can satisfy the European Union Commission on key points including the single market in Northern Ireland. He also said that Britain would leave the European Union on 31st of October, divorce date, deal or no deal, and would not request a delay. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude, held their first meeting in Luxembourg without a breakthrough. Focusing on the Irish backstop, the two leaders from different sides of the English Channel found they are not on the same page. And after the meeting, Johnson held talks with Luxembourg Prime Minister. French President Emmanuel Macron received Luxembourg's Prime Minister at the Elysee Palace. Bettel was also scheduled to meet the French Prime Minister later. Israelis headed early to vote at the polling stations for the second round of general elections on Tuesday. The opinion polls put former Armed Forces Chief Gantz centrist Blue and White Party neck and neck with Netanyahu's right wing and suggest the far-right Yisrael Beituna party could emerge as kingmaker in the coalition talks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also cast his vote in the second round of the general elections. Netanyahu faces a battle for political survival in a closely fought election. Benny Gantz, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's main election rival and centrist Blue and White Party leader, also voted on Tuesday in the country's national elections. Avigdor Lieberman, the far-right Yisrael Beituna party leader who could emerge as kingmaker in the coalition talks following Israel's election, voted in the country's ballot on Tuesday at his West Bank settlement. Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam said, "We do not agree with Moody's move after the credit rating company changed its outlook on the China-ruled city to negative from stable." Lam said the government does not agree with the justification of the assessment to downgrade Hong Kong's ratings and insisted the city's fundamentals remain robust. Carrie Lam also said that the government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region will launch public dialogue next week to draw opinions from all walks of life. She condemned the vandalism of the infrastructure by the radicals over the weekend and called on society to express its views peacefully and rationally. Chinese Vice Finance Minister will lead a delegation to the US on Wednesday for trade talks. As per Chinese authorities, Liao Min will visit US upon invitation from the US side to pave the way for the 13-round China-US high-level economic and trade consultations scheduled for October in Washington. A Tokyo court will hand down its verdict on whether Tokyo Electric Power executives are liable for the Fukushima nuclear disaster on Thursday. 3 reactors at an atomic power plant run by TEPCO melted down after a magnitude 9 earthquake and tsunami 8 years ago. Asylum seekers in Mexico headed to the US border for their cases to be heard at a new Texas 10 court set up near the international frontier between the two nations. The 10 courts are located in Laredo and Brownsville, Texas. Officials say they will help clear a backlog of asylum seekers. According to a report released by the United Nations fact-finding mission, hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims who remain inside Myanmar are facing systematic persecution. The UN report said that around 6 lakh Rohingyas are living in deplorable conditions in Myanmar's Rakhine state and are subject to restrictions on movement that touch almost every aspect of their lives. The Palestinian Authority held its weekly cabinet meeting in the Jordan Valley as an apparent attack of defiance after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged to annex the occupied territory if he wins the elections. Prime Minister Mohammad Shatayyeh said that he will do everything to strengthen people's steadfastness and will make the Palestinian Jordan Valley a vegetable and fruit garden. Residents of the Spanish town of Dolores in the Alicante region dealt with the aftermath of heavy rain and flooding in southeastern region. At least 6 people have been confirmed dead in Spain due to record-breaking rain that began last Thursday, hitting the regions of Murcia and Valencia. The fight against wildfires in Brazil's Amazonas region rages on as firefighters work day and night to combat blazes. Even in the early hours before daylight, firefighters exhausted to halt the spread of flames. According to data from Space Research Agency, the number of blazes in Brazil has skyrocketed 80% in the year to date compared to the same period in 2018. A rail train derailment in Hong Kong disrupted services and gave a hard time to commuters during the rush hours, the authorities have said. In the derailment, 1 person has been reported injured. The cause of the accident is yet to be ascertained. Amnesty International presented its 2019 Ambassador of Conscience award to Swedish teen Greta Thunberg. Earlier this month, Thunberg arrived in New York City after sailing the Atlantic on a carbon emission-free vessel. The Dutch military's cavalry regiments practiced for the annual Prince's Day parade at The Hague. The parade is meant to demonstrate the military's readiness to protect the monarch. A 3-year project to build the world's longest Viking bridge has been completed in Denmark. The new bridge connects a Viking museum with the archaeological sites where Viking remains have previously been discovered. With the air pollution a constant threat to the Paris, a startup is proposing a flying taxi as a greener alternative. The Sea Bubble startup that specializes in flying vehicles launched a 4-day test run of their flying taxi on the riverside. Malaysia carried out cloud seeding to tame haze and control air pollution in its administrative capital, Putrajaya. Malaysia carried out cloud seeding in the hope of inducing rain. The government has decided to launch several leagues across all sports exclusively for girl athletes to encourage them to join sports. It will kickstart with the Khelo India Girls Football League. Vinesh Fogart, Asian Games gold medalist, will face Rio Olympic bronze medalist Sofia Matson in the 53 kg qualifying rounds at the World Wrestling Championship in Kazakhstan. India's mixed doubles pair of Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Ashwini Ponnappa stunned Indonesia's world number 7 combination of Praveen Jordan and Melati Devia in the opening round of the China Open Badminton Tournament. Duryodhan Singh Negi lost to Jordan Ziad Saha in the second round at the World Men's Boxing Championships. World champion PV Sindhu will look to reassert her supremacy when she spearheads the Indian captain at the China Open World Tournament. Sindhu will begin her campaign against a former Olympic gold medalist Li Shurui from China. Former champion Mirabai Chanu will look to repeat her 2017 gold medal winning feat and seal an Olympic spot when she spearheads the Indian challenge at the World Weightlifting Championship. One of the pre-tournament favourites, FC Barcelona, will begin their Champions League campaign away at the Signal Iduna Park. They will face Borussia Dortmund in the Group F clash in the opening fixture. Lionel Messi is in Barcelona's squad for Tuesday's Champions League opener with Borussia Dortmund in the Group F clash after recovering from a calf injury. Barcelona emerged victorious first, winning 2-0 at home, and the second game ended in a 1-1 draw. Defending champion Liverpool opened their UEFA Champions League campaigns with a difficult away game against Napoli as Europe's top club competition returns. Scotland defeated Netherlands by 58 runs after scoring 252 in the second match of the ongoing Tri-Series on Monday. Australian women defeated West Indies women by 9 wickets to take 2-0 lead in the 3-match T20 International Series at Bridgetown. President Trump awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom to baseball pitcher Mariano Rivera, who is the first player in the history of the sport to be elected unanimously into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The 2019 Quintang River International Surfing Contest closed on Monday in China. Teams from France and South Africa won the championship. Two spectacular records were set at the Audi 9's mountain bike held in Germany. Benvenido Aguada of Spain completed the world's first successful tsunami front flip, while England's Tom Eisted reached a record height of 7.1 meters. A group of local residents, lifeguards and university officials came together to rescue a group of beached orcas on an Argentina beach. The cast of Downton Abbey promoted their new feature film in New York at a red carpet premiere. The aristocratic family and their servants returned with a movie set around a royal visit to the West Grantham country home. Italian designer Riccardo Tisci looked to Burberry's Victorian roots for the latest line at the London Fashion Week, mixing delicate lace with edgy street style for looks aimed at catering to different age groups. Brad Pitt called the NASA astronaut at the International Space Station ahead of the release of his new film, the space thriller Ad Astra. Pitt peppered astronaut Nick Hague with dozens of questions about what life was like in space. The 71st Emmy Awards got underway with the Creative Arts Emmy Awards ceremony at the Microsoft Theatre in Los Angeles. The big winner of the two nights combined was the HBO's Game of Thrones, which garnered 10 awards. Norman Lear became the oldest Emmy winner in history with a victory in the category of Outstanding Variety Special Live for All in the Family and the Jeffersons. Katrina Kaif, Vicky Kaushal and many others attended the IFFA pre-award event. The 20th edition of Nexa IFA Awards will be hosted by Ayushmann Khurrana and Arjun Kapoor. Ayushmann Khurrana's latest outing, Dream Girl, crossed the mark of 50 crore on the 4th day of its run. After sharing the screen space with Ajay Devgan in Bol Bachchan, Abhishek Bachchan is all set to star in Devgan's production The Big Bull. The actor took to social media to share the news. Kartik Aaryan launched his YouTube channel on Monday. The actor, who is busy shooting for Pati Patni Aur Wo, shared few of his on-shot moments on his channel. And that's all we have for you in this edition of the news. But for all the latest news and updates around the clock, you can follow us on Twitter and YouTube. Well, that's in fact, there you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at DD News Official. And that's all for the moment. Thanks for being with us.